This is Rock Leach with Social Fire, and I've got another video that was sent to me by a subscriber, taking a look at a pastor who was rebuking a member. It looks like it was one of his ministers in front of the entire church. Now, I want you to look at this. Was this grandstanding, or was this just a good, authentic, no agenda rebuke outside of the See You Grow? Oh, you don't want to miss this video. Now, as a pastor, I know that there are times when order needs to be called to a service. There needs to be, if we have a leader who's repetitively doing something in service that's out of order, that needs to be addressed then. I mean, in that moment. But then there are other times where things need to be rebuked or got back into place. I don't know if this falls within that, but we're going to take a look at it. I'm going to react to it. And before we get started, I'm going to let you know I am going to stop the video because I need to stay within fair use. So I will stop from time to time. But let's go ahead and take a look at this video. Let's go.
If you're not careful, you're going to blow it. If you're not careful, you're going to blow it. If you're not careful, you're going to blow it. If you're not careful, you're going to blow it. If you're not careful, you're going to blow it.
Okay, how many times is he going to say that? I think we know the title of this. If you're not careful, you're going to blow it. That's a lot, but okay, let's go.
If you're not careful, you're going to blow it. Get in place. Get in position. This is about being a servant. Your spirit has to change. I told you months ago that this next season was going to be the hardest season of your life, and you fumbled the ball 3 times. And I told you specifically what this season was, and if you're not careful, you're going to blow it. I don't care who prophesied to you. I'm your pastor.
Okay, it sounds like a little grandstanding here. Also see that a lot of the things that he's saying, I don't care who prophesied to you. Now, there are a lot of times people prophesy to you, but that pastor is there generally for Christian development, to grow you. But you're talking about his failures in front of everybody. It sounds like if that's a minister, now I want to say that, if that is indeed a minister, I don't know that this conversation needs to be in front of the congregation. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. I personally, and I don't know, maybe I'm a little different, but I just don't believe every conversation is for everybody. I just believe that if there's a conversation with preachers, that needs to be amongst the preachers. Now, if he would have been openly doing this in front of the preachers, that's different. But in front of the whole congregation, no, because what's going to happen is if you're trying to grow him, when he gets up to preach in front of people, now people are thinking about this rebuke while he's up there, and that don't serve nobody. That does not serve anybody to do that in front of the people that he's going to eventually have to minister to. Even if you're sitting him down for a season or something like that, he's going to have to get back up and minister at some time. And I just don't think that this is just me. I'm just me. I want you to tell me what you think, but let's go.
I don't care who tell you X, Y, and Z. I know you by the Spirit. I know your shortcomings. I know what you don't do in this church.
I'm hearing a lot of I. Y'all, this is sounding like cult cardio to me. Whenever I'm saying cult cardio, that's when somebody don't want you to look to nothing else but them. And as there's a lot of pastors that are guilty of this foolishness, this sounds like cult cardio.
I know what you do in this church. Nobody outside this church knows, and you can tell them I said it. You can tell any pastor, you can tell your cousin, you can tell anybody. I'm your pastor. And I don't care what they tell you. If you don't get yourself together and do what you're supposed to do in this house, everything that God has promised over your life is subject to be aborted.
Okay, that's a curse. That's a curse right there. If you don't do it like this, then everything in your entire life is going to be aborted. Now that's a curse. That is a curse. And this is cult cardio. And if I'm correct, if the spirit is strong enough in this preacher, he just gonna get worse with it. That's what happened. They'll start with some, sprinkle a little bit, then before you know it, they'll open up the whole floodgate, because this is what they normally do. So I'm gonna know what kind of spirit is on him, and I'm also gonna know how strong it is with him, based on what he's doing. This is bad.
Get yourself together. Get in place before you blow it. Not just for you, but for your family.
Oh, man, come on here. Y'all, this is not sitting well with me. You done drug his family into this, and then sound like this pastor's in his feelings about something. I don't know, but just discerning this, it sounds like there's more to this. And of course, we're getting a clip, but this is a little heavy. All right, keep going.
Get yourself together, Bree. Pick up the vacuum. Clean the bathroom. You're not above the work. If I did it, you got to do it.
Now, I do agree with that point right there. A lot of preachers just want to be, I don't know. It looks like we have a level of preachers now that just want the high chair. And, last time I checked, high chairs are for babies. They don't want to do any work. They don't want to serve anybody. They don't want to sweep no floors. All they want to do is drive a nice car, preach, prophesy, and all. There is a level of preacher that will not put a broom in their hand because they're too busy looking for the microphone. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. That is an epidemic in the church.
Get yourself together. Titles without service are empty pieces of paper. They have no value because it's service which gives the title the push. Do you hear me, son?
Okay. That was okay. That was neatly packaged there. All right.
Get yourself together. You operating in the wrong spirit. I don't like it. You're operating in the wrong spirit. I don't like it.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and say, I believe the pastor's operating in the wrong spirit too. I don't feel any love in this. We can always say that it's, God chastens those whom he loved, but this right here feels like a level of grandstanding that shouldn't have been done in this service. I'm just going to go ahead and say that.
This spirit that you're in is not from God. God don't operate like that.
And got to give a shout out to the musicians for making this sound so epic. That drummer back there is hitting that flow tom. You can, he making it sound so epic, and this is so out of order.
Get yourself together and be Bree. Come here. Lift your hands. You have no reason to be angry, to be upset. Because if I gave you the keys, you will blow it.
It's more of this cult cardio. I, me.
You don't even know how to turn on a system.
And why are we so busy putting his failures out there? He got to grow. He's got to learn. Most people learn in they hands-on. They got to learn in the situation. Why we can't just say that's what God's going to do with them? So God qualifies folk before he, come on, God not still using the foolish things to confound the wise? God not you. I'm just saying. That's a bit much.
If I gave you the keys, you ain't tried to learn nothing. If I gave you the keys to any church, you will blow it because you don't know how to do nothing.
Oh my God. He is really shaming this guy. Now, here's the thing. The way he's talking to him, he's really pushing forth guilt and shame. Guilt, you don't know what you're doing. Now, let's just go ahead and say this. Guilt is when you hate what you did. Shame is when you hate who you are. He's trying to make this man hate the call that God had put on him and make it so big that he don't even want to preach no more. I'm just saying this brother here need to lead his church immediately. I'm gonna say it. It don't sound like this your pastor, man. You need to, there's a father and then there's a counterfeit father. There's a difference between authentic and Walmart brand. I'm gonna go ahead and say that, y'all that shop at Walmart, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. This is not right. This is not right.
All you want to do, son, is preach. And preaching is less than 10% of pastoring. You got to learn how to do the work. And stop worrying about them. You got to do the work. Because without work, you know why a lot of pastors fail? They ain't got no service. They ain't put in no work. I can give you the money right now. You want to go out there and do it on your own? I'll give you $20,000 tomorrow. You go out there, you find you a building.
Oh, I could give you $20,000 right now, and you're going to fail tomorrow. Listen, sir, let me tell you this. I know that there are several pastors that watch this broadcast who can take that $20,000 and succeed. You stay within your budget, you'll be all right. Now, what you trying to do with $20,000? You trying to go rent a Coliseum? Is that what you're trying to do? I'm just saying. I know what it is to start a ministry from scratch. I'm talking about getting it out of the dirt, starting it from scratch. $20,000, and you're just gonna get him $20, and then you're gonna tell him that he ain't gonna be able to. I'm just saying, this is all bad.
You go.
It's a flex. I give you $20,000. You're not even gonna be able to. Okay.
Get you a sound system. You go pay your rent, and after you do that, you have nothing. And I guarantee you, in 6 months, you're gonna come right back on here broken.
Why is he so trying to harm this dude's? Why is he trying to kill his drive?
And I give you what I started. I give you what nobody gave me when I started. And I'm telling you to your face, you're going to fail because you ain't put in enough work. And I don't care who prophesied to you. Without work, prophecy is null and void. And if anybody in this church is contrary to what I'm saying to him, you get the hell up out of here because you of the devil.
Okay, that is cultish. That is cult cardio right there. That is suppressing critical thinking right there. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, get out. Because you ain't of God, you of the devil. That right there, what he said, is the absolute essence of being in a cult cardio church. And when I say cult cardio, that's what churches sing you through. They sing you through the motions over and over and over to get your mind to suppress critical thinking. And what he's doing right here, that's demonic, y'all. That's outright demonic. But let's go. And it's unbiblical.
If you want to contest what I'm telling to my son, let this be your last time coming in this church.
Either he's not a good son, or you're not a good father. And I'm leaning to the latter. You, sir, are not a good father. This is not good.
You're gonna let people mess you up. And I'm telling you to your face, this right here is my last time with you. You understand? The next time it won't be no I'm thinking about leaving. I'm gonna give you papers. I'm gonna give you papers. I'm telling you to your face in front of everybody. And I had nobody came and told me nothing. I'm telling you what God is saying. The next time you don't have to worry about.
And that's that stuff about telling you what God is saying. I don't believe God said none of this. I don't believe God said any of this. Sir, I haven't heard any scriptures for what you're doing. You're all the way out here in your feelings. This is all feelings, y'all. I ain't heard one scripture. Y'all, maybe I missed it. Maybe he said a scripture in there somewhere. Comment if he did, but I hadn't heard nothing.
Been thinking about it. Because when you show up, I'm going to say, here are your papers right now. And I'm going to stand you up before the people, and I'm going to say, today is Bree's last day. And we're going to bless you, and you can go out there and you can try to do this without help, and you're going to fail. You're going to look like a fool because you have no foundation, no support. You make the decision what you want to do. With me, I'm good. But what would be a travesty would be to spend 10 years in a church and don't get nothing out of it. And if you're not listening to the voice of your spiritual father, you're not getting nothing out of it.
Yo, that cult cardio, whenever they want to point you to them and nowhere else, you ain't going to get this from nowhere else. Nobody else can do this but me. It's all about me and what God tell me. And if I ain't said it, it ain't got that. Ain't that, y'all. That is what I'm talking about. Cult cardio. You heard it here.
Careful of the voices that plant seeds in your ear that will get you out the will of God for your life. Are you listening to me? Am I right? Yeah, I know.
Now listen, you're going to ask him if he's right in front of all these people. And if he say you're wrong, then you finna do worse. I would say you're right too, just so you can go and get on about your business, so I can go and get in my car and get out of there. I wanted to say another word, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Get the HE double hockey sticks, like the kids say, out of there. This is terrible. This is a terrible thing, y'all. And I think this kind of thing goes on more than we will admit to it. It goes on quite frequently in church, where we have these kind of rebukes. This was a terrible rebuke, y'all. This was a rebuke that was not of God. And I want to advise that brother or anybody who's going to a church where they're doing this, you need to leave. You need to leave, because this is all in the flesh. And I don't know, this was all grandstanding. The pastor felt like there's some other kind of agenda there, because you can just simply say no. You could have just simply said, looked at him and said, you're going to blow it. If you don't get yourself together, you're going to blow it. That's it. Move on. Boom. You could have walked up to him and said that without folk. You didn't have to have the microphone yourself. And, that's the thing that I'm careful about, is that you got to be careful of these fathers, these spiritual fathers, who always got to have a microphone to father. I'm telling you, I am telling you, this was manipulation. This was killing a calling right before people. This brother here just experienced a public execution. That's what that was. And this pastor needs to repent, in my opinion. This was not biblical. This was not right. You don't see this kind of thing nowhere. This is crazy. But this happens a lot when a pastor, you got to be careful, because sometimes pastors will get people who are in that Saul-David relationship, where one is a king, but one is also anointed and has a greater following. And then they start feeling some type of way. And then what'll happen is he's raining down on him, telling him how he's failing. You're failing. I'm sorry. And you're going to go out there and try to do it on your own. And you're not going to have the support of me. And it's going to be even worse. I want to know, ultimately, what do you think about this? Jump down in the comments and let me know your thoughts. Let's go.